Hey everybody, it's your girl Taylor here, and today is going to be different. And I say that every single video I make, and it's always like spaced out by 3 months, and I'm always like, I'm back. Like, well, you'll get videos when I make videos, but today is something different. It's not a song, it's a story time. So the reason I decided to start doing story times is because I was on the bus with my housemate, who's also one of my very good friends. Her name is Candace, and I was telling her about this crazy story from like high school that I had, and I realized I have a lot of those. Like, I have a lot of stories that I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I was so dumb, or I was just like, this would be such a funny story to tell people. Like, every time I tell someone certain stories, they laugh for a long time, or they're like, are you okay? Like, they seriously question whether I was alright as a child. So I decided that maybe it would be fun to share them on this platform. So to start off for story times and to expand this channel and to make it more than just covers of songs, I'm gonna start by telling you the story of the time that I smuggled alcohol into a high school dance. And that sounds like, oh, like everybody does that. Like, everybody shows up to dances drunk, like everybody blah, blah, blah. But like, I had to get the alcohol from the school, like inside the dance, in the school, and you'll figure out why I'm actually making this a story time. Because it was a little bit ridiculous, and it was a little bit extra for no reason, but get into that. Before we get into it, just really quickly, if you like my content and you want to see more story times, click the like button below. Also subscribe to my channel, make this family grow. We have just over 2,000 of you, and that's fantastic, that's crazy. But also, if you want to just be like, hey girl, don't do another story time, stick to singing, you're better at singing than you are at story times, then just let me know down in the comments. Okay, so yeah, let's get on with the story. So story starts, and I am in 11th grade, so I'm a junior in high school, so that makes me not even 17. Like, I believe I was, 16, almost 17. So at the time, I was friends with a group of girls that I'm still friends with to this day. So they're like my ride or dies, like such a good group of girls, but mainly I was friends with a girl, and we'll call her Cassidy. So Cassidy was like, hey girl, there's a school dance coming, like, do you want to go? Like, let's hit it up, let's go. Because I was so involved in high school, like, I was like, every dance I was at, every single event, like every sports team, everything. I was involved in everything in high school, every arts thing, every music thing. I was always ready. Spirit days, I went all out. Like, I was just that girl. Like, I was that kid that was like, oh my god, I love everything, like school, oh my god, spirit, let's do it, right? Rah rah, yay. So I was that girl. So I was like, are you kidding me? Obviously we're going to this dance, like, you're crazy if we're not. So she's like, okay, come over to my house, we'll get ready, we'll play music, we'll have a little bit of a drinky drink, and then we'll go, right? She had a car too, so she's like, oh, like, I'll drive, like, let's just go. I was like, okay, yeah. And I like asked my mom, because my mom is a Spanish mom. She's very strict. If anybody knows Spanish moms, they're very strict. They really, you know, if they say no, they mean no. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Mom, there's a dance coming up. I want to go to Cassidy's house. Let's, like, she's gonna drive us there. She's gonna drive us home. Sorry, and I'll just sleep over there. And my mom's like, okay, yeah, like, that's fine. Go have fun. She loved school dances, because school dances were always like, teachers were there, right? So she was like, oh yeah, go, like, have a good time. I'm like, perfect. So the day of the dance comes around, and I go to Cassidy's house. She like picks me up after school. Like, well, we all like get into her car after school, go back to her house, and we're like blasting tunes, we're doing our nails, blah blah blah. And our other friend is there. We'll call her Ellie. So Ellie is Cassidy's good friend, and I knew her. We weren't like super close, but we were like very civil. I really liked her. She was a really nice girl. So the three of us are getting ready at the house, and all of a sudden Cassidy's like, I really want to get drunk. Like, I really want one dance for me to just be shittered, because everyone at, like, my school dance would show up just plastered. Like, absolutely plastered. Always, like, people were almost incoherent by the time that they got to the dance. And dances at my school started at 8 p.m. So they must have started drinking at like 4. You know, it was like they were already just ready to go, you know, because school dances to certain people weren't fun unless you were drunk. To me, I just had a good time regardless. But Cassidy was like, you know what, we're almost seniors, like, let's get drunk and go to this dance, right? But I brought, like, I think one cooler, like one Pombe or something like that, just to sip on while we were getting ready. We did not have the alcohol to get drunk. Like, we didn't. And I'm a lightweight too, so it's not like I'm like, I need like a whole 2-liter whole bottle of whiskey straight on the rocks, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I probably like drink like 3 Smirnoff Ices and I'm good for the night, right? But we didn't have enough alcohol to get all 3 of us to the point where we were like, let's go have fun. Like, we didn't want to be totally gone, but we wanted to have more fun. We want everything to seem like more fun. So I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was younger than me. So he was a year younger than me. So he was 16, almost, not even, and I was turning 17. And we had this, like, relationship where he looked a lot older than he really was, and he was friends with a lot of older people. So Cassidy was like, why don't you call the boys and see if they have any alcohol, right? Because they were supposed to meet us at the dance because they were our dates. So Ellie didn't have a date, but Cassidy and myself both were going with 2 boys. So I had my best friend, who wasn't my boyfriend. His name, we'll call him, what's a guy name? I don't know. Ross. We'll call him Ross. So Ross was my best friend and Cassidy's best friend. So they were going together, and I had my boyfriend, we'll call him Troy, sure. So we'll call him Troy. And Troy wasn't that great of a boyfriend, to be honest. He was kind of shitty, but I was like so head over heels in love with him that I was like, it's fine, like, it's great, everything's great, like, you know what I mean? So that's me being naive, whatever. So we call the boys, and we're like, hey, do you guys have any alcohol? Like, are you guys gonna get drunk? Are you guys bringing any? And they're like, no, like, we're just gonna come, like, we weren't gonna do that. So I was like, oh, like, that's a bummer, because we were gonna get drunk and come to the dance or whatever. And my boyfriend was like, I can get you alcohol. And I was like, you're 16. I'm like, how? He's like, I have my ways. Like, what do you want? And I was like, a 2-liter of sourpuss. Like the raspberry, like the big glass bottles of raspberry sourpuss. That's what the 3 of us were going to share. I was like, a big 2-liter bottle of raspberry sourpuss. And he's like, okay, I'll get it for you, and I'll bring it to the dance. And I'm like, how? Like, it didn't make any sense to me, but I was like, okay, sure. And then I hung up, and we were gonna meet them there. The thing is when you come into my school to get into the dance, there's a whole process before you're even allowed to go past the front entrance. So we get ready, and we go to the school, and we're all cute. Like, it's a semi-formal, right? So we're like, oh, we got dresses on, we got our hair done, our makeup's on fleek, our nails are done, we got heels on, we looking cute, we're feeling ourselves. I'm feeling my anyways, yeah, so we're feeling ourselves all up in this piece. So we pull up to the school, and I'm like, how, like, I wonder if they got the alcohol in. And so when you first come in the door, you go through the main foyer, and there's 2 big long tables set up, and there's 2 people sitting at one table and usually 3 people sitting at another table. So one line is for if you haven't bought your ticket yet and you want to pay at the door, but usually pre-sold tickets were cheaper than tickets sold at the door. So you needed to have the paper ticket that you bought in advance if you skipped that line. The second part of this like process was you go up to the desk with your student ID, because everybody has a student ID to go to my high school. So it has your picture on it, your name, your student number, and what grade you're in. And if you were bringing a guest to the school, like if you were bringing a guest, you had to have a guest pass, and it had to be signed by my principal, and there was a whole, he had to call the school that they were from and make sure they were in good academic standing before he signed it, and blah, blah, blah. You had to be with them, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we didn't have any guests, so that was fine. We went straight up to the desk. They stamped our wrist. After we like gave them the ticket, they checked our names. They took their student cards, looked at the list of names that they had that bought tickets, found your name, crossed it off, and you were good to go. But if you had bags, like backpacks, they would double check, like they would check a backpack, right? So I was like, how do they get the alcohol like in the school? Like, I don't know how, and they weren't even there yet. So I don't know how that happened. So I called my boyfriend. I'm like, hey, like, where are you? He's like, oh, like, we're almost at the school. And I'm like, okay, like, I was like, how are you gonna get the alcohol in the school? He's like, oh, it's already there. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's in your locker. I was like, when did you put it in my locker? He's like, oh, we went while they were setting up, and I just went upstairs and put it in your locker. My boyfriend did not know my locker combination. Nobody knew my locker combination, which goes to show how fucking crazy he was, first of all, but that's besides the point. He says that the LCBO bag with the alcohol or whatever it's in is in my locker. And I'm like, how the fuck? Anyways, I didn't ask any questions. I was like, okay, I'll see you soon. I hung up. But I have to get to my locker. And the thing about a dance is they have teachers posted at every single door and every single staircase. So you can't go past the main foyer because that's where the dance is. And they don't want you running around the school at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at night, right? Because you could fuck some shit up, right? So they like have teachers everywhere and there's students everywhere, and I'm like, how am I gonna go get this alcohol? Like, it's in my locker. I can't take it out at school tomorrow. There's cameras everywhere. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna get it? So I had to do something and somehow sneak past one of the teachers, my locker was on the 2nd floor of the school. So somehow I had to go down this long hallway and go back upstairs, go to my locker, get the alcohol, and sneak the alcohol all the way back downstairs. So I had a small like purse, like I had a little purse, and then I had a duffel like backpack, because I took it to Cassidy's house with me to get ready. And you know, girls have to bring all of their shit when they get ready, not just like a little bag. Nah, they gotta bring a duffel bag, because there's like 8 different outfits, every single piece of makeup that you own, and like 8 pairs of shoes. Like, you have to bring everything. So I had a big duffel bag, but you have to do bag check when you get there. So bag check, you walk up, you say, here's my bag. They write what like section your bag is in on your hand, and then you hand them your bag. So I walk over to bag check, and luckily one of my friends is doing bag check because she was on student council. I won't give her a name because she wasn't really important to the story. But all I know is that I go up to her and I'm like, hey, I need to get upstairs to my locker. And she's like, I can't let you do that. Like, there's teachers everywhere. And I was like, please, girl. I was like, there's some alcohol upstairs. If you want some, I'll give you some, but you gotta let me through. And she was the type of girl that didn't want to do anything against the rules. She was the goody two-shoes. She was a little bit of a teacher's pet, but that was okay because I liked her and she was cute. So I was like, I don't know if she's gonna let me go. She's gonna let me slide, or she's gonna tattle on me, because snitches get stitches at my school. But she let me go. She was like, fuck, okay, that's like, just go right now. Like, the dance barely started. The teachers are kind of distracted because they're trying to get everybody corralled inside the gym. Like, just go really quick. So I go past the bag check, go to pretend like I'm putting my bag down, and then I just keep walking. And I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. It's down this long hallway. My school was set up in an L shape. So it was just one long hallway after one long hallway, and then you had to go up the stairs, one long hallway, right? So I'm going down this long hallway and I get upstairs, but my locker's on the opposite end of the school. So I have to go all the way down to the other side of the school, and there's janitors everywhere cleaning, right? So I'm like sneaking by myself. I didn't let any of my friends come with me because if one of us got caught, all of us were getting caught. But I was like, you guys can just stay here, cover for me. Anybody asks where I am? I went to the bathroom. Cool? Cool. So we go, me. I go upstairs and I'm walking and I'm like being careful that there's no janitors, because if I get caught, I get kicked out of the dance, and they're like gonna grill me with questions and wonder why I'm coming up here. So I get to the hallway where my locker is, and my locker is right at the end of the hallway, right beside a girl's bathroom. And then on the other side of the hallway, there's a men's bathroom. So I go and I kind of creep up to where the hallway is, where there's like a big corner, and then my locker is right here. There was a janitor in the hallway that was just going into the men's washroom. So I waited for like half a second until he went into the washroom and the door closed. And I like bolt over to my locker. I'm like running over to my locker. I'm like really quickly putting in the pin. I open the locker, like trying to be kind of quiet, but trying to be fast. Open the door, and at the very bottom of my locker, there is an LCBO bag, like the thin bags, an LCBO bag with the sourpuss in it, with the whole bottle. So I take it out and I shove it in the duffel bag, and then I close my locker really fast and click it, go. And I was so close to getting caught. I ran down the hallway, back downstairs, back to bag check. And as I'm coming up to bag check, there's my principal comes out of his office, which is right beside bag check. And I was like, like putting my bag down, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh no, like I have to take this bag into the washroom with me if my friends and I are gonna drink, because there's one girl's washroom and one guy's washroom that we're allowed to use during the dance. So I'm like, somehow I have to bring this whole duffel bag with me into the bathroom. So I start to walk over, my principal's like, hey, Taylor, and he knew me because I was a good kid. I was such a good kid. I was like on every teacher's like good radar, right? He's like, oh, hey, Taylor, how are you? Like, you having a good dance, having a good time? And I'm like, yeah, like bringing my duffel bag. He's like, oh, like, you need to put that in coat check. I'm like, honestly, I'm stumbling over words. I don't know what to say. And then I look up, and without thinking, I'm like, I just got my period and I really need to go to the bathroom. And I looked at this man, this like almost 50-year-old man, dead in the face, and said, I really need to go to the bathroom. Like, I just got my period. And he's like, looks at me and he's like, okay, go. I'm sorry, go. And he lets me take this whole fucking duffel bag with me. Like, not like a tampon isn't this big that I couldn't put it in my purse. But whatever, he was a man. He was like, okay, go do your lady business, right? So I go in the bathroom and I put the duffel bag down, and my two friends are like trailing behind me, like I'm like running, and they're like like running behind me. We come in the bathroom and there's nobody in there, so I got one of my friends to stand beside the door so that if any teachers come in, we can like stash the alcohol really quickly. So I take out the sourpuss and we screw off the cap and we go in one of the bathroom stalls, and me and my friends are just chugging it straight from the bottle, just like, and passing it along, and then like we were playing hot potato with this alcohol bottle, okay? And shit's nasty by itself too. It's nasty. It tastes like cough syrup by itself too, but we're just go, pass it on, and we keep going till the bottle's half empty. So we come out of the stall and nobody came in or anything, but we didn't know where to put it because I didn't want to keep having to bring my duffel bag into the bathroom. Like, I can't just keep saying, I have a lady problem. Like, it's not going to work, right? That's a one-shot deal. So we can't put it behind the toilet because it's in such plain sight that the girls in my school were ratchet too. Like, the girls in my school were so ratchet that they would have taken it and drank it. Like, they don't even know what's in it. They would have just drank it, right? So we come up with this fucking genius idea. We look at the trash can, and the trash can in the corner of the washroom is one of those big round ones, but they have the other garbage pail inside. So there's a cover around it, and then there's a space, and then there's another black garbage can that you can lift out of the case and then dump and put it back into the case. And then it has the round like flap head that you put back on. So what we did was I took the lid off of the garbage can. I pushed the black plastic part of the garbage can in, shoved the bottle of alcohol between the case and the inside of the garbage can and shoved it there, put the lid back on, and it looked like there was nothing in there. Even when you opened the flap to put garbage in, it looked like there was nothing there. So we hid the alcohol bottle inside the garbage can, and we go out and we start dancing, we're having a good time. The boys showed up, we're like, yeah, like all everywhere, like the dance is like, and so we're all like, yes, lit, like we're having such a good time, and we're all like, we're shit-faced, just having a good time, right? And so periodically we'll go in the bathroom, watch the door, take the lid off the garbage can, take the alcohol out, chug it, pass it along, put it back. And we did that until the alcohol was completely gone. And then we just tossed it in the garbage. Just tossed in the garbage for somebody to find. But there were so many girls in my school that nobody would have known who it was. It was some girl, right? So we finished the alcohol, we had a great night, and then I went home. And it was such a fun time, but we were so stupid. Like, what? Did we really need it that bad? But hey, it was smart putting that. I take full credit for putting that in the garbage can, because that was such a sick idea. Most people are like, that's such a gross place to put it. I'm like, it wasn't in the garbage can, it was shoved between the case on the garbage can and the actual pail that you can take out anyways. So it was great. Yeah, so that was the story of the time that I snuck alcohol into a school dance in high school. Yeah, so that's it. If you enjoyed this story, like I said earlier, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think of these story times down in the comments, and hopefully I will come out with another one soon. Okay, so yeah, until then, stay cute. Peace.